what's going on in our nation, our community. People are tired. They're tired of marching, praying, vigils, forgiving, only to seem like you're right back where you started from. We see officers being ambushed. We see black men being shot first and black women, and questions asked later. We're tired. People are saying, what's going on? What's going on? What's happening? The only thing that's happening is that God is allowing his word to be just what he said it would be. The text says that one plants, another waters, but God gives the increase. We take that and it's true from a spiritual perspective. It can even be applied to a financial perspective. But understand this, that the Bible says God is not mocked. Whatsoever a man sows, that shall he reap. Now, anybody knows anything at all about planting, I don't care if all you ever did was plant one tomato plant in a pot by the window, you know the seed is never as great as the harvest. Harvest always bigger than the seed. And what we see now is the harvest. That's why we see things happening so seemingly out of control. We are seeing the harvest. And God will allow us to harvest whatever we are big and bold enough to plant. You see now that the seeds are political in nature in one area. The seeds are in the church, both the black church and the white church. The seeds are in us as a people. Not always political, but I have to say that sometimes we, black and white, don't seem to truly believe the Bible is right. The seeds we're reaping now are not the seeds of slavery, though that's the source of the seed. The seed is not slavery. This harvest we're reaping now began with the election of Ronald Reagan. He went from a mega church to a storefront. As a matter of fact, they got so bad, he looked at the 12 and said, are y'all going to leave me too? And Peter had it right. Where can we go but to the Lord? I want you to know, we talk about, they say, well, we're kingdom focused. Well, the last time I read my Bible, the Bible said that Jesus taught us to pray. And it said, thy kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. Don't point me up to heaven when I'm catching hell here on earth. Somebody needs to bring a word for me down here. For David said, I would have given up if I had not believed to see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. I ain't just talking about heaven by and by. No, the Bible says I got the right to be blessed down here. I got the right to be free down here. I got the right to walk around and declare that I am somebody down here. I got the right to say I ain't got to bow down to nobody down here. I got the right to live just as much as anybody else. See, I don't know about you, but I'm like David. I would have given up with what I see going on right now. I would have given up with all the pain and injustice I see right now. But I had to believe that God is able to be good in the land of the living. I got to believe, in spite of everything that I see, that I'm not walking by sight, but I'm walking by faith. I was reading the other day in Isaiah 58. I don't know why God took me there then, but now I know why. This is what he said. I don't have time to read it all. But he said in Isaiah 58, he said, of all these religious folk, it's not this the kind of fasting I have chosen. To loose the chains of injustice, to untie the cords of the yoke, to set the oppressed free and break every yoke. Is it not to share your food with the hungry and to provide the poor wanderer with shelter? That's the homeless folk, if you didn't know what I'm talking about. When you see the naked, to clothe him and not to turn away from your own flesh and blood. Then, he said, then your light will break forth like the dawn, and your healing will quickly appear. Then your righteousness will go before you, and the glory of the Lord will be your rear guard. Then you will call, and the Lord will answer. You will cry for help, and he will say, here am I. Anybody feel good about that? If you do away with the yoke of oppression, with the pointing finger and malicious talk, and if you spread yourselves in behalf of the hungry to satisfy the needs of the oppressed, then your light will rise in darkness, and your night will become like the noonday. The Lord will guide you always. He will satisfy your needs in a sun-scorched land. He will strengthen your frame, and you will be like a well-watered garden, like a spring whose waters never fail. Your people will rebuild the ancient ruins, because we in ruins right now, and raise up the age-old foundation. And listen to this, you will be called the repairer of the breach. You will be called the restorer of the streets and dwellings. Another time he said, if my people that are called by my name will humble themselves and pray, seek my face, turn from their wicked ways. He said, then I will hear from heaven and I will heal the land.